everyone, I'm Sneha Sharma, international racing driver and airline captain, and now even an Amity Online student for MBA. I would like to welcome you all on the Insta class by Amity Online today on the topic of reaching heights. I'd like to share my short journey with you to success, which a lot of people think I've achieved, but in my eyes, I still have a long way to go. I started my journey as a racing driver about 15 years back when I was quite young and I tried my hand at go-karting. The moment I sat in the cart, I felt the adrenaline rush and it was like never before, and I decided this is how I want to feel for the rest of my life. That's the first point, to always follow your instinct. Then I didn't have access to professional training. Then I did the second point, which is to be resourceful. So I asked around and I would see the mechanics racing at the end of the day with those tattered carts just for the fun of it. So I asked them to teach me with the basic techniques. Meanwhile, I would see drivers who were driving a national championship. Then I learned braking, cornering, accelerating and steering techniques, and I started participating in a lot of races. And that's where I used to win quite a few of them, and I got picked up by a national team in Times of India race to do national championship. It was a tough call. By now I was 16 and I was already pursuing my science 11th at the time and doing my ground studies for pilot already. I was exploring whether I want to be a pilot or not. But when I did nationals, I was doing these three things. I was doing racing, I was doing flying ground studies. At the same time, I was working on fitness because I was also an obese teen. I used to be 90 kgs, so I had to lose 30 kgs to be able to be fit, which also pushed me, because if you can push your body to the limit, you can definitely push your mind and your stamina to the limit when you have to complete a task, when you have to complete a project and really give it your all to your work. That's why fitness is so much more important than just looking good or being healthy. It's about reaching the mental limit and to be able to push yourself at hard times at work and otherwise. So after that, I did national karting, I did national racing. I took a break. I went to USA to do my flying studies in California, came back, resumed racing, started working with a team, then did saloon car racing, formula car racing, and then I did saloon car racing internationally, formula car racing internationally, and became the first Indian woman to win an international racing championship for India. So that really made me happy, and I drove the Formula 3 simulator, and I'm hoping to drive the Formula 3 soon. I faced a lot of obstacles in my journey, such as opposition from family for my racing. They were quite supportive for flying, which I'm quite lucky for, but they thought racing is a dangerous sport. It can be an hindrance to my studies and it can also distract me. But I was quite stubborn to my goals. I would lie at home sometimes, hide my helmet, jump a wall and go race. At the same time, I would carry my books with me and study on track between sessions in lamp lights, on buses, etc. so that I could pursue my studies also, because I knew I have no option but to stand on my own feet at one point, because we took loans for my education. My family took loans and I had to pay them at one point and become financially independent. Second constraint was financial constraints. Racing is a very expensive sport. When I was just karting locally, it was easy. I could save up my pocket money, lunch money, etc. and pay for those few laps. And then later on, as racing got more serious, it became more expensive. Then when I came back from the USA, I started working on track with a team, such as a mechanic, tuner, trainer, and also loaded trucks at the end of the day to fund my racing. It was quite tiring because I was racing in the daytime, staying back in the evening till 2-3 a.m. also loading trucks, working on the cars, opening engines, etc., learning about the cars at the same time, but wake up again in the morning and then racing at a high speed with high concentration, and with I didn't have the best equipment. I would drive second-hand cars, bent chassis with the different engines. But if I could drive those cars to the best of the capacity and win a race or finish on the podium, that would always also make me very fast in a good car when I could afford one or when my sponsors could afford it. So that was another constraint. I couldn't afford a rib protector, so once I cracked my rib in a race weekend, but I had to keep driving, so I wrapped foam around my waist and I raced. It was very difficult, but the fact that I could push myself made me realize I can do a lot more. Then second constraint was about physical fitness, losing weight. Again, there was no time or finances for very professional training, so I would climb stairs, swim, power yoga, run, learn about diet online, etc. And then there were gender biases. When I started racing, most often I was the only girl on track, and this is one of the sports which allows men and women to compete on the same platform. Some people would not like losing to a girl, so they would say things like, you don't belong here, go back. They would try to crash into my car. They would threaten me that we will take you out of the race if you don't let us pass. It has happened when they have crashed into my car, etc. So it was quite difficult, but I never let it affect me. I only told myself, once the helmet is on, I'm not a man or a woman, I'm only a racing driver. And I channeled all that aggression, all that grief, and into my racing, and let my performance speak for itself. And that's what I like to tell you, is that don't look on the naysayers. You have to be a little tunnel visioned when it comes to your goals, and really try to be at it. Second point I would like to tell you is about multitasking. I feel success only and only happens outside your comfort zone. So, same as for weight loss, same as for anything else. It's not easy, but it definitely is worth it, and it's fun. I think if in this day and age you're not multitasking, you're not doing anything. You never do one thing, it's just not enough. You have to balance your life, but at the same time you have to do more than one thing. If you're doing your MBA, you better have a job on the side. If you're doing a job, you better have some education going on the side, or doing some project, working on something, because that's how I became what I am, with flying, racing, doing women empowerment initiatives, some television, video shoots, stunts for car companies, etc. Like they always say, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great, and that's how I think I've reached to this point. And another thing is, sometimes when you look at the big picture, we get very overwhelmed. Of course, you need to have a goal. That they say there are many ways to the top of the mountain. So you should just see where you are and find whatever way to get there. And that's how I did it. And sometimes you don't see anything, you just see the next step. So the only thing you have to do is put one foot in front of the other and just keep going. Say that with your career, with your studies, with accumulating finances for your studies, etc. Things like that. So that's what advice I could give you. Second is, there's so many pillars of a life, like health, your family, your finances, or education, depending on which phase of life you are. So you have to always keep balancing these along with your passion. I was able to follow my passion of racing only because I fulfilled my responsibility towards my flying and my family and things like that. There were so many times I would have to take a break. I couldn't go for certain championships because I was flying. Though later on Indigo came on board, they're my employers and sponsors along with JK Tires. So that worked out. But you need to really swallow the bitter pill sometimes and just wait it out, and your time will really come. So that's how I feel I've reached a certain amount of height, and I think you can too. I think I'm really passing past my time, but I can take your questions now if you have any. Let's see. Yes, I am doing my MBA. I want to hone my skills, and I'm a pilot with Indigo. So basically, I would just like to tell all you girls out there and guys out there that just pick a profession you like, make your own place in it, instead of picking a profession for a man or a woman. Okay, Varun just asked me how I manage my day. Well, I wake up in the morning. The first 1 hour I don't speak to anyone. Maybe I listen to some positive music, not the pop music, some meditation chants. I drink my cup of tea. I just breathe, and then I gather all my energy and get to work. I don't waste a single second. I work out every day. I spend time in nature. I go sit by the beach, things like that. So yeah, you should be working every hour. There's no off days, there's no Sunday. You can always enjoy in the evening, but work through the afternoons. One advice to women out there, like I just said, that pick a profession you like, make your own place in it. And yes, I'm a pilot also. Normal day, well, sometimes I wake up at 3 in the morning, do some power yoga, go for my flight, do 4 sectors, come back, rest a little, say about 4 in the evening. Then I do some more swimming or workout, then eat something, then reply to my followers or study something, because you have to study for flying a lot and things like that. And then I sleep. So anyways, that's it. I'm going to leave you here. Hope to see you at one of the other classes or during our MBA together.